Greetings, y'all. So we're going to do a new moon reading tonight of Khamsin the Oracle. And I have already pulled cards for the new moon today. And this reading is going to be definitely, I really believe that this reading is definitely going to be the answer that a lot of people have been looking for. So we're going to just go ahead and dive in. This is a shamanic reading. And shamanic denotes me going into some of the hidden aspects, which are considered to be the underworld aspects, and the physical aspect, which is considered to be whatever issues you may be dealing with, and the higher learning aspect, which is the spiritual outcome of you being in the underworld. We're going to get started, and I'm going to do something that I feel like is going to be really helpful, which is I'm going to show you some crystals to go along with these cards that can help you connect with this energy. Because I believe with this new moon, this is a full reset for us. A lot of us are doing shadow work, or maybe thinking about it, but not quite sure the proper way to do it. And there is a beneficial and non-beneficial way to do shadow work, and I have done both. So I want to share from that space to give you this information. Now, the hidden aspect, the underworld aspect of this shamanic layout, what came up was the labradorite crystal. And labradorite represents taking action. A lot of times we don't take action because we don't have clarity. Sometimes we don't take action because we're waiting on perfect conditions to take action, because maybe we have made mistakes in the past and we're just really afraid of fucking it up and we don't want to screw it up again. So I'm just going to sit here until I get clarity, or until the conditions that I'm observing are perfect for me to move forward. Taking action is the hidden aspect of whatever is happening in your life. It is helping you to take action. If that happens to be something that feels negative to you happening in your life, that will also help you to take action. Remember, I work with the dark feminine healing energy, which is the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is the underworld. It is the unconscious. And most of what we create in our life is created from the space of unconsciousness. Now, the labradorite stone is related to the third eye and the crown. So this hidden aspect can be accessed through your third eye, your spiritual eyesight. So what your two eyes might be seeing may not be accurate. And this crystal is also related to your crown chakra, which is the chakra that helps us to receive spiritual knowledge and guidance. Labradorite is a very magical stone. It's a stone of magic, and it assists us to connect and awaken the gifts that lie within our soul. And the soul has its own language. The heart has its own language. The mind has its own language. Learning these languages helps us to navigate the transformations and the transitions and the void space, which is that space of not knowing. That is a part of spiritual ascension. There's nowhere around the void space. There will be a period where you will not know something. That's just a part of life. So with this particular crystal, it helps you to take actions that are going to be spiritually beneficial for you and the outcome that you are desiring. This crystal also can help you connect with the mystical mysteries of life, the magic of life. Synchronicities would be something that I would compare to the magic of life. This crystal also can help you to bring a deeper awareness to your specific spiritual journey and the knowledge that will assist you to manifest in your day-to-day life. So if you're not taking action in your day-to-day life that moves you towards where you are being drawn to, then you're not actually taking action. You're just living and getting through life and surviving, but you maybe are not setting a strong intention, being a deliberate creator because you lack direction. Again, the labradorite helps to open the third eye's ability to perceive things from a spiritual perspective. And it also helps to integrate those light and darker parts. And as you can see here with this labradorite, it has parts that are light, parts that are dark, parts that actually change colors based on the position of light and the way it is reflecting against it, just like this one here, my two lions. I don't know if y'all can see that, but there are two lions inside of this stone. So this crystal can help to bring that insight and activate the third eye and help you integrate the light and dark parts of you. Now, pulling this particular card lets you know that the time is nigh, the time is now to begin taking action. And there are specific moments when taking action is divinely guided by the universe. And you may call that God, goddess. You may call that nature. All of these things are reflective of the creator of the seen and unseen world. And this is one of those times for you when maybe you've been feeling this deep in your soul. You're like, I know it's time for change. I know it's time for me to stop waiting and take some action, but I really don't know what to do. So if you've been waiting around for change to occur on its own, just know it's not going to happen that way. Okay, you're going to have to actually begin to make some decisions to move forward, to take action so that you can manifest your dreams. It could be making a decision about a career or a job. It could be a major life change. It could be something regarding your health or your relationships. This is the time for you to begin taking some steps, even if it's small baby steps, moving in a positive direction to get the energy flowing. Once you have the energy flowing, the life force, the chi, the ki, the prana, the shakti, once you get some energy flowing, you'll be surprised at how much the path begins to illuminate itself to you. You are encouraged, if this is resonating with you, to work with the labradorite stone, because it is going to help you to stop waiting and hoping that things change. It's going to help you to not procrastinate, right? And actually start moving in a direction that you know feels good to you. And let me tell you, when it comes to taking action, depending on your natal chart, sometimes you can skip steps. Sometimes you can be a little bit too quick on the draw, and sometimes you can wait too long. And for me, my thing is waiting too long. I will sit in a situation, a circumstance, a relationship, a career, a business, whatever it may be. I'll sit in that place way longer than I really needed to. And so that happens to be one of my shadow underworld aspects that I am working on to integrate by doing shadow work. So the interesting thing is, I wanted to know what's going to help us take action. Because taking action, again, can mean so many things. But how can you take action in a way where it's not going to destroy a seed that you just planted and it haven't began to grow above the surface yet? Because sometimes we dig our seeds up because we're moving too fast, or we're moving in the wrong direction, or we're taking action in the wrong areas. And a lot of times we take action by trying to change the physical realm before we have actually done the subconscious, unconscious work to actually be able to change the external. You go within to change what's without. So I asked, well, how can the collective do this to move in this direction? And the card that came up next was the black obsidian crystal. And black obsidian represents the shadow, represents the hidden aspects of who we are, the parts of us that were repressed, the parts of us that we are uncomfortable with, the parts of us that we think people will judge us for, the parts of us that we feel are not worthy of our attention and time, the parts of us that we were told we should stop being that way, the parts of us that we got bullied for, the parts of us our partners do not like about us, the parts of us our parents did not like about us. And one of those things for me personally is being a truth seeker and a truth teller. My whole life, I have done that. And a lot of times it did cause some disturbance. And sometimes people did not like it. And sometimes I was accused of being a liar. And sometimes I was told that I was just being dramatic or irrational or making up stuff. All throughout my life and having sickle cell anemia, it is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. So shameless plug in here. If you don't know anything about sickle cell, watch some of my older videos and find anything that you Google, just read about it. And I believe it's something that's important to learn because it's a disease that affects the blood, and the blood carries life force, since we're talking about life force and moving forward. But I had doctors tell me that my pain wasn't really being experienced in my body, almost as if it was only in my mind. And sometimes this happened to me unto death, where my blood pressure would be so low, my heart rate would be so high. Sometimes I ended up in ICU. Sometimes I had organ failure. It was just really, really, difficult to get people to believe that I was telling the truth. And I found out it's because of my natal chart and some of the components of my human design that there is a lesson that I'm learning in how to be self-validated. And sometimes people will not believe me. So that's just an example of the shadow. And I'm going to get into some of the attributes of this crystal. Before I do, I want to show you black obsidian. This is obsidian. Let's see if I can get it to catch the light. Yeah, this is obsidian. So powerful. You see that? And this is made of volcanic lava. Yes. And you can imagine the power within lava. This is really special to me. This stone has helped me through some really difficult transitions in my own life and has really helped to level up my shadow work. And there are a lot of ways you can use this stone to assist you in healing. Mercury retrograde. But I do have all of this available on the website. And, if you would like to learn more about this stone, you can definitely go to the website and check out the blogs. And I have some webinars teaching you ways that I use this stone as well on Patreon. So let me tell you about this stone. This stone is related to your root chakra. So the work to take action is to create healing within your inner child. The inner child lives in the root chakra. The root chakra represents security and safety. We're having a lot of earth energy right now. We're in Virgo season, but a lot of planets have been in Taurus. And that's all about your earthly conditions, okay? Grounding, connecting with Mother Earth. All of these things help you. And this is literally like Mother Earth's blood. It's lava. Black obsidian is a very powerful medicine, and it helps to purge stale energy from our field. It transforms it into fresh, vibrant light that can be used to guide us. It's formed from volcanic lava, and it holds within it the medicine and energy of fire to purify, burn away, bring strength and courage. It burns through the darkness, bringing new light and wisdom to all who cross its path. This particular stone is a cleanser of negative energy. It draws things to the surface that have been unresolved, issues that you have not been able to come up with solutions for. And once it draws it to the surface, it helps to release so that healing can take place. This particular crystal also dissolves destructive patterns. Again, before you take action, you want to work through some of the destructive patterns and the negativity that may be trapped within you. This stone helps us to let go of old habits and the traits that are coming to the surface now to allow more love and more self-acceptance. Those words are beautiful, but let me tell you, they require awareness, mindfulness, and work and honesty. The stone permits entry into the void space in which I mentioned before, to receive wisdom and knowledge from the shadow side, which holds the unconscious, subconscious. It holds the programming of the collective, the programming of the 3D matrix, the programming of not enoughness. And a lot of us created relationships, businesses, and our lifestyles while we were very entrenched in darkness, negativity, and unresolved issues. Now, the journey of the shadow is definitely a powerful and enriching experience on so many levels. Those who find strength and courage to master the path of the shadow are gifted with a life of balance and more freedom. We are all one with the universe, and all aspects, positive and negative, light and dark, exist within us. The shadow consists of aspects that are denied and pushed away due to fear and misunderstanding. And I would like to add ignorance, because there's a lot of that on the planet within the unconsciousness, where people just don't understand what they don't understand. And when we don't understand, we're less likely to be open to more understanding. They become hidden in the unconscious self, and these things spiral out of control. And the shadow parts of you will play havoc in your life. Now, when you invite these parts back into the light, to the conscious mind, which is only 5% of your day-to-day processing of information, the other 95%, which I believe to be true, is stored within the subconscious, unconscious self. You can love these parts of you without judgment. You can bring these parts of you to a deeper sense of awareness and experience peace and harmony in your inner world, which will permeate your outer world. If you've been feeling a little depressed, maybe even acting out in self-sabotage, pushing away fear and other negative emotions, this could be a sign that your shadow is playing out in your unconscious. It is now time to embrace all of you and love yourself in all your totality. Somebody got tears in their eyes right now. I feel that. I did too. Many gifts, including your personal power, are hidden within the shadow. And it is now time to reclaim these gifts in all their glory. Black Obsidian is here to support you at this important time as you embark on this self-empowering journey into the shadow. This card may also be a sign that whatever you are asking guidance on is actually hidden in the shadow, and there is something that you are not seeing yet. Be patient and work with this energy to bring awareness and insight to your situation. So this, people, my friends, the shadow is key to taking action. Otherwise, you risk taking action and not being 100% confident that the action you are taking is absolutely necessary and it is beneficial. Every course that I have in the 10-day meditation course, the purpose is to take you into your shadow self. Whether it's the 3D matrix detox to heal religious trauma and many other 3D social constructs, the inner child healing. Remember, we talked about the inner child living within the root chakra, which is why the Black Obsidian came up. Connecting to these parts of you will reclaim those things. And you will have more confidence in the action that you take. Even if you don't know the how, you don't have to. You don't have to know the how. You just be open to the how. And it will naturally unfold for you. When we ignore our shadow self, when we ignore the fact that we have a tendency to be sad and try to ignore it, you betray yourself. Your inner child will not feel safe with you. Your inner child is like, it's me that's sad inside of you because you're reliving traumas that you lived as a child, yet you're out here behaving like ain't nothing going on. You out here smiling all day, every day, like ain't nothing happening, but you complain that you ain't having deeper connections and deeper relationships unfold with people. It's because you're not being real. I know being real can be scary. And for me, being real did mean me losing a lot of people in my life. It did, but I do not regret it. For me, being real meant not having support with simple things. Things that a lot of parents might have and take for granted, like having someone to give them a break from the kids. You know, these are things that aren't consistent in my life right now. It's because of the decisions that I made. But it's my responsibility to be real. And it's everybody else's business how they respond to that. Not mine. It ain't none of my business. And the people who appreciate authenticity will be magnetically drawn to me and I to them. And that creates relationships of substance. And I choose substance over shallow connections. And though I'm in a void space where I've made the decisions, the outcome is here, and the seeds that I have planted have not yet brought forth the harvest. And this space is difficult because is it a space of not knowing? Okay? But in the space of the void, the purpose is for the void to be the reflection of everything within your shadow self so that you can see what has been hidden from you, so that you can see the beauty inside of you, even in the parts of you that you don't like. Can you open up and just love them parts of you? Can you say, you know what? I really don't like this about me, but I don't want to not love any part of me. Because if I don't love any part of me, I will manifest relationships with people who also don't love parts of themselves. And we're just broken people trying to be in relationships with each other. And I don't want to be in a relationship with fragments anymore. I don't want to be in a relationship with the remnants of a person anymore. I want to be in whole relationships. So I must be in whole relationships with myself. This is the wisdom of obsidian. This is the wisdom of the shadow. The next question was, what's the issue? For so many of us, what is the issue? Red jasper, which represents healthy boundaries. This is the issue. Many of us did not have the privilege to have boundaries. Many of us were raised in homes where boundaries was seen as a form of disrespect. Even as young girls, locking the bathroom door when we was in there, in most homes that I know of, that wasn't something that was supported. Don't be locking doors in my house. Has anybody else heard this? You ain't paying no rent. Don't be locking no doors in my house. And for me, I remember feeling like I should be able to lock doors because I don't feel safe if I don't. And I have been violated before. And I don't like the way it feels when grown ass men and older people that be around me looking at me. And this is the only time really that I feel safe. And now I can't even lock the door. And I'm lucky if I can close it. And this is just a result of programming and conditioning. This is no blame to people who raised their kids with those types of rules. People who were caregivers and had those kinds of rules. But it did do us a disservice. For a lot of us who are young women, we did not have boundaries in the form of being able to say, no, I don't want to do that. No, don't say that to me. No, don't touch me. And we even manifested relationships with boys and young men at some point where our no was not accepted as a no. And maybe we were dating somebody and they wanted to have sex and we was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And before you knew it, you having to push them off of you. And they like, well, when girls say no, they really mean yes. It's like, what the fuck? Where the fuck did you get that from? What planet are you living on? You know, those experiences, and I want to speak to the feminine right now, but those experiences really depreciated our value system about ourselves. And it did make it difficult for us to say no and to have boundaries. And there are many other examples that I could use, but that is just a few. So we're going to get into some more information about red jasper. I have jasper that I keep under my pillow, but I also love to work with fire agate and carnelian. Fire agate and carnelian has the similar makeup of red jasper, and so it has a lot of the same capabilities to help have stronger boundaries. And this one is carnelian, one of my favorite. I use this, I put some copper around it. Copper increases conductivity. So yeah, this is one of my favorites as well. And to hold these, you feel safe. You feel safer. It's amazing that the Creator put such precious gemstones here for us. And a lot of us spent most of our life just using them as an aesthetic to look good. And we didn't know they had a spiritual power. Now, red jasper is an ancient stone utilized in ceremonies and rituals for protection, purification, and to facilitate a deeper connection to the earth. When you embark on a journey to connect with this sacred stone, you will start to awaken to the wisdom and knowledge of healthy boundaries, as this is the crystal's hidden medicine. Red jasper invites you to connect deeply to the earth as you open your heart to receive the love of Mother Nature. Breathe this healing energy of red jasper into your heart as you start to feel strong, grounded, and more balanced within. It is now time for you to awaken your inner strength as you create loving, healthy boundaries in your life. This stone is very good for assisting you in overcoming a deep-seated fear of being abandoned. Now, this was attracted today because this particular crystal is reminding you the importance of healthy boundaries. Creating and understanding the meaning of healthy boundaries for most people can sometimes be overwhelming and confusing. When you start to create healthy boundaries, you can sometimes get confused and think you are being selfish or too hard on yourself and others. This is a perfectly normal part of the process of understanding and creating healthy boundaries. So be patient and gentle with yourself. Just know that this process is different for everybody. The reason this may have come up today is because maybe someone in your life is taking too much from you, or you are giving away too much. There requires a balance in giving and receiving. You can disempower others and yourself if the sharing comes from an unhealthy intention. Hear that again, because we were taught that sharing is caring, but the part that was missing was, but why am I sharing in the first place? See, for me, I shared to keep from being abandoned. So I wasn't sharing from a place of love. And for a lot of us, that's a shadow aspect of the reason why what's in our life is in our life, because we shared our life. We shared things that were precious to us with others to avoid being abandoned, in hopes of being loved and accepted, in hopes that that feeling of loneliness would go away, in hopes that someone would finally love you and see you. Now, this wisdom that's being offered to you is helping you to process setting healthy boundaries. You may be a very generous, loving soul who provides healing and support to many people. We are urging you to learn to honor your own needs first. My guides have been constantly getting on me about this and reminding me that the value that I am learning to create, invest, and bring to myself must be protected. You want to start to know and be aware of your own and others' boundaries. And remember, it is absolutely your responsibility to take care of your own needs. The action of creating healthy boundaries can bring out a deep healing of self on many levels. It brings the energy and awareness back to the heart and allows you to come from a place of love and clarity. And it encourages loving, nurturing, and fulfilling relationships to blossom in your life based on mutual love, respect, and healthy boundaries. I'm writing a book all about boundaries, all about my experience as being someone who is a recovering people pleaser, all about the connections to trauma, the wounded, what I call scared, masculine and feminine energy versus the sacred masculine and feminine energy. And one of the most important things that has been misinterpreted, healthy boundaries is not selfishness. A little personal story, because I really believe in sharing personal stories, because it does help us to see that we're not as different as we may appear to be on the surface. But growing up, I felt like I had to sacrifice my boundaries to keep other people from being miserable, because I saw people's misery. And as someone who was a very powerful empath, I had no idea that I was merging my energetic being with others. And not only did misery love company, but I was more than willing to be that company, even at the expense of myself, at the expense of my mental health, my physical health, at the expense of my finances, at the expense of my children, not knowing when to draw a line. And because I heard over and over again, you are a selfish bitch, you are a selfish bitch, you are a selfish bitch. Any time I tried to do something for myself to help me, I heard this over and over again. And I made an unconscious vow that I would never be selfish again. And because I was practicing Christianity at the time, Jesus was the only example that I knew to follow. And he was willing to allow people that he loved to beat him to death, to murder him and kill him. And God, the creator of all things, saw that as being the highest form of love and sacrifice. And I took that word into myself and I called myself the blood of Christ, the bread of Christ. I am the hands of God. And I didn't even realize how abused I had been, all in the name of trying to uphold the only religious figure that I knew, because I was hoping that the answer to what I was going through was in that. And I know that there are some people who may not be in that space, and that's okay. We are not supposed to be clones of consciousness, all believing in the same things, because that's what got us in this trouble in the first place, when we lost our sovereign individuality. And a lot of us are adults figuring out who we are and finding our sense of self. A lot of us have sacrificed so much for our children, our family, our partners, and whoever else, that we don't know where we begin and they end. We don't even know what we want to eat. We don't know what we like. We don't know where we want to go. I lost myself so much where these things were as foreign to me as a foreign language. So I want to let you know that as you discover boundaries, and there are many ways to figure out where you need boundaries. And shout out to somebody really, really, really close to my heart. She shared a video with me today. It was funny because I pulled these cards at the grand rising of when I woke up, and just kind of sat and worked with the energy throughout the day. And she was actually used as an echo for some of these messages. But people will resist your boundaries. And the most difficult one that I find is with adult children, our parents, and our partners. Those are some of the most difficult relational dynamics to create boundaries with, especially if you haven't had any up to this point. And if you are empathic, if you have allowed yourself to be enmeshed, trauma enmeshment with other people, it's likely that a cord cutting will serve you. And the way that I do cord cuttings are very different than a lot of other cord cuttings that I have found, because this is something that must happen on a multidimensional level where you're working through each chakra. You're working through each subtle body, your emotional body, your mental body, your pain body, your spiritual body, your astral body. A lot of times we do the cord cutting, right? Maybe we burn a black candle and banish energies that we no longer want to have in our lives. And maybe we try to be done with it, but we keep getting pulled back into it because the cord cutting wasn't done in the proper way. And a lot of people believe that cutting the cord on a psychic level, energetically, is not beneficial because it can come back. And so there's something that is called, it's like soul reclamation. So you're like recalibrating yourself. You're calling these energies back to yourself, because we actually kind of water down our soul's passion on the planet when we enmesh with people. And so there are 13 steps to cord cutting that I use, and 13 represents 13 moons of a year, an annual year. The calendar has been changed, so this is why a lot of us are not in sync anymore. But the process is a 13-step process, and I'm thinking about meeting up with a group who resonate with this and would like to do this. So if that's you, drop it in the comments. And I'm going to be honest and tell y'all, boundaries in business was something that I was way too relaxed on. And anything that any client needed from me, I will go above and beyond to make it happen, even if I wasn't being paid for it. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. And I've spent hours and hours and hours doing cleansings for other people, and helping them to navigate some of the difficulties that they were experiencing. And sometimes I even did it for free. So I'm not doing that anymore, but I'm always giving away things, because I do believe that love and making donations is a part of the spiritual journey. And becoming less attached to things. However, your girl got to eat too. And I got to be able to pay for all of the things that I am using to help the world to better themselves. So keep in mind that we are practicing having healthy reciprocity alongside of healthy boundaries. And if the reciprocity is unbalanced, boundaries will help bring the healthy reciprocity into your life. So we will honor each other and each other's gifts. And if that's something that you're interested in, and you already are aligned with reciprocity and you want to honor each other, let me know in the comments, and I will put that together. I need at least 10 people. I get 10 people, and we're going to do that 13-step cord cutting. And let me tell you, it cuts, baby. These cords cut. This is a whole different type of cord cutting. This is causing the cords to dissolve into the ethers. And the only way it comes back is if you call it back because you want it to. Because we're going to put some boundaries around that. Okay? And I think a lot of us still have soul ties from exes. And, whew, honey, exes can become hexes when you ain't got no healthy boundaries. Do you hear me? That's not what we're doing. So this has been the issue. Now, what is the higher learning in all of this? Compassion. That emerald stone, you see this beautiful green. So you know this is the heart chakra. In order to have healthy boundaries, you first must have compassion for yourself for the effects of not having healthy boundaries. And when you can tap into the compassion for yourself, for whatever has showed up in your life from not having healthy boundaries, when people push against your boundaries or cross them or don't respect them, it is the compassion for yourself that will bring back balance. Okay? So, you can be a selfish bitch. You can be a selfish asshole, whatever it is in their eyes. But if you have compassion for yourself, you will be able, in your own heart, say, I got all types of issues happening in my life because I didn't have any healthy boundaries. And they're saying that I'm selfish for doing this, or I don't care about them. You'll be surprised at what you hear. Let me tell you, when the archons and the Where to Go Mind Virus and the Asurics, when they get going, they get going. And it is the compassion that will bring them to a halt where you can say, wait a minute. I got chronic fatigue, pain, migraines, headaches. I can't sleep at night, can't think straight, anxiety, depression. All of this stuff comes from me not having healthy boundaries. And it ain't just with people outside of me. It's with my own self. It's some ways that I've talked to myself that is not compassionate. And I'm not going to talk to myself like that anymore. Boundaries are within and then without. Okay? So if you got compassion, you're able to allow the compassion to be the remedy for when other people don't have the capacity to be compassionate to you. Now, emerald is related to the heart chakra, and it's a very powerful medicine of love and compassion. It's been used for centuries. Emeralds is something that's been a favorite. All green stones have been a favorite in many cultures and ancient civilizations. It was even found in the breastplates of kings and queens from ancient times. And this stone has the medicine of helping to deepen love and to deepen the organic nature of compassion. This stone promotes love. It helps you to sit in the void, right? And be compassionate to yourself while you're there. It helps to activate your heart, because once your heart get hurt and you go and your guards go up, if you don't intentionally work through those guards to take them down, you will not experience intimacy. But how do you know who to take it down with, right? Yeah. Compassion is key. And it also will help you to let go of old stale connections that are superficial relationships. And a lot of us, because we were taking action from a place of the shadow self, and we were enmeshed with people because we did not know how to have healthy boundaries, and we lacked compassion for ourselves, we ended up manifesting outside of us relationships that mirror the pain inside of us, which is the pain of superficiality, lacking depth. Because when you go deep, shadow, and look within, you ain't gonna always like what you see, but you can learn to love it. And if you are not going deep within yourself, your relationships aren't going to be superficial. That the universe is such a beautiful teacher where it's going to show us. Now, with this particular card, this means that the higher learning for you, this situation that's unfolding, is to help you have more compassion for yourself. Although compassion is the natural state of being, at times, due to a lot of different life experiences, your heart can close off to this compassionate love. You are being called to drop deeply into your heart as you awaken to the pure essence of who you really are. If you have been feeling a lack of love for yourself and maybe even people around you and the situations in your life, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to expand your heart as you are being guided and supported to awaken the compassion that lies within. Opening up to compassion is the only way for you to truly love yourself and heal the current situation at hand. You are being encouraged to let go of any judgments and expectations you may have about yourself and others. It's time to forgive yourself and let go of any self-criticisms as you allow compassion to heal your heart, not someone else heal your heart. You are encouraged to be gentle at this time. The wisdom of the emerald invites you to open and let them shine through your healing light of compassion deeply into your heart. And this may be uncomfortable for you, and something that you can do is take a stone and lay it on your heart and breathe in the healing energy. Labradorite is one, but my second favorite stone to do this with is malachite. And malachite, you see, it also has those similar flecks as labradorite does. I love stones that can change colors and do that. But malachite is really special because not only does it help to heal the heart, it activates compassion, and it also hides you from people who would take advantage of you. It creates a barrier around you when you're working with malachite and most green stones. And you will start to notice people not coming around as much, and most likely those are people who were crossing boundaries, who were asking for too much for you, taking too much from you, or just people you were giving too much to. So these are some of the benefits of malachite, and we also have these on sale on the website. We're going to do one more thing, because I wanted to dedicate myself today to give fully, unattached from the outcome. And whoever this is for, I hope that this is speaking to you. Because if we do not heal ourselves, the world will not heal. And healing is not a destination, it's a journey. Now, Yuga Shakti was who I pulled when I asked, who can help us with protection? Because so many of us don't really know how to protect ourselves from getting hurt without guarding our heart in a way that blocks out all intimacy. A lot of us don't really know how to connect with the mothering energy. And y'all know a mama, when she protecting her cubs, her baby, her children, it ain't nothing she won't do. You hear me? When she is in her heart and in love, it's nothing that she won't do. And I'm going to discern what this image holds for you. And for some, if seeing somebody with their tongue stuck out offends you in any way, that's okay. Because when kids stick their tongue out, what does that mean? You know, it's like, you know what? I'm not with this program. You know? So let's read about Yuga Shakti. And I think that you are going to be so pleasantly surprised with the amount of compassion, protection, and love that you feel from these words. Her timing is fierce with compassionate wisdom. To love her is to honor her great knowing. She demands the surrender of our futile attempts to control that which is beyond our sphere of understanding, until that pain transforms into the sweet pleasure of release. Even the right thing cannot attain fruition at the wrong time. Trust her and be shown again and again that her divinely orchestrated workings of time serve you faithfully with love and grace. Kali's outstretched tongue and open mouth signify her fierce form as the devouring divine warrior goddess. Time emerges from Kali and ends with her. To birth the new, she devours the old. Persistence for clinging to what has been. The attachment to our past pain and fear of the unknown future are no match for her genius. An unwavering will to clear a way to provide the best conditions for the next chapter of your life to unfold. There are cosmic cycles within which the personal cycles in our lives must align. There are karmic time frames that govern soul contracts and relationships. This Venus retrograde definitely showed us a lot about relationships, didn't it? The timing of life circumstances and changes of fortune, and the opening up of pathways for us. Using our free will, we can enhance the flow of healing and do all we can to ready ourselves to step forward at the appropriate time. Yet it is the Divine Mother in her infinite wisdom and regenerative power that knows and enacts the perfect transition at the best time. She orchestrates the shifting of individual and collective cycles to be in harmony with each other, so every being gains spiritual benefit through what experience is unfolding. The Oracle of Yuga Shakti confirms that you are going to experience considerable change. The timing of this unfoldment is significant. There are many factors at play. You will sense when the correct moment is upon you. During this time globally, The light of spiritual knowledge is partially subsumed within the darkness of ignorance and confusion. Even those with the awareness to have positive intentions can become confused and place profit above their integrity, attack brothers and sisters on the path, or lay claim to knowledge based on false foundations. Even when our intentions are noble, in effect, our actions can create further suffering. Such conflict and confusion are signs that Asuric, which are negative forces, have gained the upper hand. Kali Ma's darkness and ferocity are required to redress the spiritual imbalance. We are in particular need of her most terrifying manifestations when we become confused as to what belongs to the highest sacred truth and what does not. Do not allow yourself to be convinced by another of anything. Lean into your heart connection to the divine. Inner clarity and higher understanding will arise for you. You will see how close the chapter is on the past and be able to move into a new cycle. Unique to the iconography of Kali in the Hindu tradition from which she emerges is her poked out tongue. Kali's tongue represents her wild mystery teaching. The tongue is the organ of discernment, digestion, and speech. It assists us in taking the right things in and expressing ourselves as we choose. Our mother tongue means the language of our birth. Kali is the cosmic mother tongue. She is the original spiritual language of our hearts and souls. Hers is the language of spirit and light, of truth beneath the form, and the reassurance that although we must submit to the shifting of greater cycles, those cycles ultimately move for our greatest spiritual benefit. When Kali unfurls her tongue with ferocious expression, she is embarking upon spiritual deliverance. It is the action that precedes her bringing about the end of a diabolical era of greed, fear, confusion, hatred, self-righteousness, and negativity. The tongue of Kali is a reminder that no matter what we see unfolding before us, there is always a pathway back to the heroic and beautiful. If you have been struggling to let go of a negative legacy, perhaps one that extends back through generations, or has infiltrated a group that you belong to, this oracle signifies that a radical divine intervention shall take place. Call upon her for such assistance now. Know that an era of darkness is going to end. Unexpectedly and suddenly, a new spiritual dawn shall arise. An entirely new era is due to unfold. Keep close to Ma. She shall ensure it is brought into being in the best way, at the best time. Oh, goodness. I mean, that's fierce. That's fierce. When you're in the middle of spiritual warfare, a loving, mothering energy that's not afraid to be ferocious and fierce, that's not afraid to clear the pathway, that's not afraid to battle the negativity that you have not been able to overcome, there is no way that you will not be able to take the darkness and turn it into light. Now, here's a prayer that you can use to connect with this wisdom in your life and call this energy into your life to help clear the way, to help open the roads for you. Beloved Kali Ma, Yuga Shakti, creatrix and birth mother of every cycle of time, from the birth and death of world ages and universes, to the chapters that open and close in my life, Your wild grace opens my heart. And as your child in need, I implore you to bless me, keep me close, and ensure all transitions are secured within your wisdom and grace for the spiritual benefit of all. Ja Ma Kali. Now, at this point, to activate your ability to visualize using your third eye, you can imagine, just feel and intend to visualize a fierce ocean. And this ocean is filled with life-giving blood, just as when a woman has her baby. And it's boiling and bubbling away like lava, deep in the center of the universe. It is wild and powerful and filled with life. Old cords of connection, outmoded thoughts, ideas, and plans can be cast into the boiling red ocean. All offerings transform into smoky black ash, rising up from this fiery ocean, transformed. The ashes are sacred. It instinctively and lightly settles wherever it is needed, providing Kali's blessing of protection. You may see, sense, or feel the ash settling on the earth upon the foreheads of beings and the many places in all dimensions and directions in need. You do not direct the movements of her blessings. You simply witness it with reverence and trust. Complete your process with your hands in prayer and bowing your head. Your sacred process is complete. If you would like to rewind this, listen to this, and use this as a meditation, that would be helpful. That's what I chose to do. But just know that what we don't understand doesn't always need to be understood to receive the divine plan for our deliverance. And this particular shamanic spread into the subconscious underworld of the true hidden aspect of the issues in our lives and the higher learning on the other side of that. And the divinity, the archetypal mother protective energy that we can work with to accomplish this path of the heart is opening to us now. And I believe this new moon, September the 14th, I think around 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, I do believe that this is creating that blank slate, because the sky will be dark and all black. And we will not be able to see, because in that darkness, just like soul, just like a baby in the womb, we can co-create and we can leave the seeds of what we desire to manifest. And in the next 2 weeks, as the full moon approaches, whatever you plant, the thoughts you think the most, the perceptions you choose, the actions you choose, is going to determine the outcome. Not the people, places, and things in your life that seem to have more power over you than you. So I want to thank y'all so much. I'm doing things off schedule, off routine. That's a great way to shadow work it out, get off routine sometimes, try something new. So let me know, did you like this particular layout? If so, I will continue to do this. And if you would like to book a reading from me, because it's my birthday, my gift to you is 50% off of all my readings. This special will end on September 22nd. So go ahead and book your reading. And for those of you who are ready to do the work and you want to get your stones, you want to get them ready and get them lined up, you can make your purchase on the website. We have all of these stones on the website and more. So just make sure you tap in. And I'm telling you, when you get these in your hands yourself, you come back and tell me what you feel. Because maybe it's different for you. But I know for me, this is a game changer. And it's so much easier for me to trust something that Mother Earth created versus something man created. And unfortunately, man created a lot of our beliefs, our values, and the way that we live our lives, and we're purging that so that we can become more authentic. I love y'all. Namaste, Namaste.